Family, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever on a day. And welcome to the program Inside Salon today. Now, the then and now media empire with the broadcast live on Facebook. Me now, our host and presenter, Mohamed Kamara, commonly known as Supermed. Inside the program today, we get Mr. Sidi Yaya Tunis, when are the acting national publicity secretary for the APC party. So, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, I want to all join me for all welcome Mr. Sidi Yaya Tunis. Mr. Sidi Yaya Tunis, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much for getting me on.
Thank you very much, sir. And we're very, very pleased to get you on at the platform today. And we're grateful to you because you're a very, very busy man. For that, you take time off your busy schedule for joining. We're very, very grateful.
Before we go further, I just want to apologize if you're not see me better. As you know, like you say, I'm very busy. I'm there on the road. I just turn me motor car lights them on so that I go able to log in for take part by this program. So if you're not see me better, that's not the reason.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Siliat. I mean, we really appreciate you. I mean, for they go through all that efforts there for reaching people and wherever they now the diaspora. I mean, that is don't show how selfless, how you know somebody where they for serve you people. I mean, we really appreciate you now this particular platform. But ladies and gentlemen, do I want to begin share the program immediately? Sierra Leoneans in general, men and witness directly from Mr. Siliat Tunis himself, when are the spokesman for the APC party. So anything you talk now, something credible, and we're not going to follow you say again what to the reading rumors in our social media. So ladies and gentlemen, fellows, they go straight away. This interview will divide into two segments. One will be about the APC party, and one will be about current happenings, current administration of the country. So Mr. Siliat Tunis, like where they say, you know, a key stakeholder, na the party, na the spokesman for the APC party. So party members them, supporters them, sympathizers them, and Sierra Leoneans in general. They ask the question, say, what's they go on now the APC party with all the lawsuit after lawsuit? What did the party do for resolve all the issues they have so and be better prepared for the 2023 presidential election? What do you say, sir?
Well, thank you very much. Again, make a show appreciation for where you bring me on for talk to with membership across the world and with supporters across the world. Clearly, the party don't go through lots of challenges since 2018. When you look at the intimidations with membership don't go through from with chairman and leader all the way to various stakeholders that we served in the previous administration and even executive members. But we don't face them challenges then they one after the other. But now we don't even be confronted with bigger challenge where now from within the party itself, where we see different lawsuits then they emerge from different sets of people. First, we've been getting the one with the NRM where lead to an injunction with them placed on we last year, January 2020. We will not be able to go ahead with we proposed adoption of the amendments that we will make to the current constitution, what would they use? But we'll be done, they work with NRM through a memorandum, we lead we for SIDOM and look back to the constitution, we make several amendments then, where in the end, the judge, we've been to deal with that case, they began for throw that injunction day out. And we also bring some happiness within the party. But unfortunately, the judge threw out the case on a Thursday, and then on a Friday, we get another injunction slammed on we by Justice Adrian Fisher, we a member of we party in the United States of America in the person of Alfred Peter Conte, filed through in lawyer na Salon. So currently, we deal with that case day. We don't make two appearances in our court. The first appearance with lawyers then go see what really dey inside this current case where they deal with, which are the reason where the person give for say for slam injunction on we. And then the second appearance that before we lawyers then say file. Say, well, since we be done the plan for going to convention for adopt with constitution. We don't incur some losses. We don't incur some expenditures already. We don't amount to a tune of about 10 billion. So we want this person for make an undertaking that if he lost the case, he go pay that money back to the party. But of course, if he win the case, then the party no need for charge and for anything. That na one. And secondly, since he not leave na salon, we they ask you, George, for let him make commitment and pay part of that money to the court, so that at the end of the day, it go give we the kind of confidence, say, yes, indeed, if he lost, he will able to pay this money. Now that in all this salon, we're not sure of any collateral we get now. So the only way we'll be able to move now for make it pay something down, like a down payment, so that this case will continue. So the judge be done adjourn for next week, Wednesday, where he go rule on this particular then two requests they are where we lawyers they make. But I just want to say this, that a lot of people be done the call for reform within the party. And clearly, as somebody where they talk for the party, the leadership of the party really don't they move in that direction. We don't amend the constitution. We don't put a lot of things them inside the way people they ask for. The issue of selection, consultation, not for day inside with constitution anymore. Every single position from ward level all the way to national, all the way to presidential candidates, even to the award of symbols for various elections, all now by elections, according to the amendments that we will not make to the constitution. Plenty other things that they will put. Tenure of office, how many years you go take now office, how many time you supposed to run for dinner office, all them things that they inside the current constitution as demanded by people. And one of the major issues where people they complain about that the fact say the tenure of the current executive don't expire. My brother, I want the membership and the supporters for no say, nobody not deny this. Even the one we hold positions, including myself with Sidoya, accept say indeed the tenure of the current executive don't expire. But let us not forget say we are a political party where they deal with a constitution. The constitution where we currently they use, when at the December 5, 1995 constitution, it make provision for NAC extend the tenure of the executive. One, if we they operate under state of emergency and we're not able to hold national delegate conference for elect new executive. And when I all go agree with me, say, one, Sierra Leone currently they under state of emergency. But even apart from the state of emergency, for the past 1 year, we party they under injunction, we prevent we for hold any national delegates conference of any kind. So there is no way the current executive could be replaced when we do under injunction, when we're not able to hold convention. Now that makes some of we they talk say, yes, in as much as the executive don't expire, but the only way we will able to replace them, now if we go into convention, and unfortunately, then court cases they prevent we from doing that. So if we not want the executive, but then at the same time, would they file lawsuits them for slam injunction, we for no go convention, we only they prolong the very executive what we say we no want. So that this some of we don't they talk to the people, but the leadership of the party not in any way they refuse for go into convention that I want, and they also want for make them very inclusive, very transparent, and the party for be accountable in doing it. A lot of the things then they where people then propose what they accept. Like for example, then they talk say if we adopt the constitution, the executive for dissolve and the interim elections management committee, now then for go ahead for conduct elections across the country. But of course, you know, then they now the memorandum of understanding we then sign with the NRM. So all of them things they are so where we they face as a party, we just want for make with membership that know say the only thing where they block we right now for let we move now then court cases they also will continue for see people and they fight.
And Mr. Siliatu is going forward. What's in our APC party assessment of them by election when they take place since when APC don't go into opposition? Including recent one, then when the by-election constituency 110, the one recent in a Kailan constituency 010, now carrying I think another ward election, then Cambia this ward election. Many people never know what's in the assessment of the party in terms of whether the party is moving now the right trajectory going forward for the 2023 presidential and general elections.
Clearly, the by-elections hold on the sea, I go categorize them in different ways. As you know, some of them they what we clearly win with them. We all know say that one, you know, they cancel them, we win them the second one, they overturn them. So we go say that one day, then take an away on. And then we go to Bo, which side we been get 2 by-elections, where of course for the ward election, even where we don't win, we see we percentage increase to also 30%. But then of course in the parliamentary elections, because of the many violence and the intimidation to a point that they even beat somebody, then wound them, we see a lot of vote dumping where we see SLPP score very high mark. You know, general election, when a general election, a very difficult for let we get 95% voter turnout. But we don't observe, say, in the south and the east, whenever we get by-elections, we see 95% voter turnout for them by-elections then they. And then we see the SLPP, they score very high marks. Now, constituency 110 clearly show we how APC for the operate when it comes to elections business. Waiting make us say so. Constituency 110 elections. No election or day where SLPP be want to reach that election day. And then put everything for win that election. Then spend money, then intimidate people, then move next staff, then do all sort of things. But because APC be determined, we be united, and we forces them out, we equally match them. We're able to win that election with the minimal amount of money we spend. We're able to win. We don't see that kind of efforts there per the other by-elections there. You look at Kailan by-election, with all of the intimidation, trade and kill Motaman, now very few party stakeholders then go there. And we not spend that kind of resources for mount a formidable fight. I mean, I give a fair assessment, just like how he asked me, how Miss Siam as the PRO of the party. I give a fair assessment. In Bo and Kenema, in Bo also, now the same thing. We don't see that kind of force and that kind of money for spend, for make we show formidable. We for no say, now opposition we day. And in opposition, when by election day, first of all, you always there at a disadvantage because the government in power get all the forces. They get the money, they get the state machinery, BNM, the security machinery and everything. So until you put up a good force, you're not going to be able to perform well. What I'm simply saying is the kind of seriousness what they put for by-elections now certain areas, if for cut across. We not for say because by-election they Cambia, we for left and no more to the people and we come out Cambia. We not for say because by-election they Kailan, we for left and no more to the people and we come out Kailan district. That same effort where we apply. Now 110, where you see all the stakeholders then come out in full force, then participate, we give it that result. I sure say, if we apply them kind force, then they across the board for every by-election, we raise the kind resources, we send the kind machinery. I sure say we go perform better. Me get the confidence that SLPP, if we put that kind force, they're not going to win any election with 40% in this country. But because with a show lethargy, and because of the amount of disunity within the party right now, where you see a lot of people still get this attitude of, oh, last you don't wash them. They want we don't fix in at them, let them go ahead, and all they help we. And now that show clearly by some of the results that we will see by some them by elections then they. Me the only advice that let we forget about the finger pointing. Let we forget about the disunity. We by election day, let we put force, let we show force, and ensure that we don't allow vote dumping, ensure that we don't allow vote reading. Now, and even with presence, go give people confidence for come out for go vote. Unless until we adopt that attitude, they again will be very difficult for we they take part. And they say this with all seriousness. When you look at all the elections since 2018, and as somebody will get this party in a heart, I really want people to pay attention to this. Because at the area always, when they say 2023, will they win? Yes, it is possible. But we get for change with attitude. Meaning a person where they look at statistics. When you look, no election or day where SLPP don't ever go into, where they don't get less than 10%. Across the country, even in the north, none, no by-election, no nothing. Even in general elections, they know they get less than 10%. And they get less than 10% in certain areas. It shows us that we need for buckle up. Not to for say we not get support in other areas than they. But waiting SLPP, they allowing for do na the north, they allow them for do na other areas of the south and the east. And at that day we need for stop. And we can do it if we are united and if we send the kind force we need for send for take their elections then they seriously.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Tunis, for that brilliant and very, very honest response. And like what you say, you did say to the APC, now a collective responsibility. All APC party members, stakeholders, them. When they say election, all man for come together, pull and wait together, make sure say they're able to protect them votes. Because it's not only about the people going to vote, for protective votes and make sure say ballot dumping they take place. Because we say can surprise or they see some side they say this one party, SLPP get 458 votes, then APC get 3 votes. I mean, we're thinking, wow, that's strange. I don't know who they look at that general assessment. So if not that, then present, then APC does not contest. That probably is the outcome of that area. But like what they say, so I believe say the general APC public should have to look into that and make sure say you're not party member, you're not sympathizer, you're not all for come together when they say election for make sure say we not vote, but also for protect una vote. Mr. Tunis, we're very grateful for getting you on the platform today because you give some excellent response. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll continue for share because, I mean, it will be very unfortunate for anybody miss this particular interview in the diaspora. Mr. CDA Tunis, another very important thing where people they ask about the APC party. They say the pending flag bearer race at the party forget the party in flag presidential candidate for the 2023 election get the potential for bringing plenty division and disunity within the party, whether they get ramifications as well. So what in the party they do for make sure say they anticipate them here, so make sure say no say the challenge so they come and go able to deal with them and put mechanism in place. So I think, yes, put mechanism in place for make this not go happen. so that they will be better prepared for the 2023 presidential and general elections.
Thank you very much. You see, this now, I'm glad the way you asked this question. You see, the issue of flag bearer really not supposed to bring problem at the APC again. And I say this because at least if we get the opportunity for go adopt the amendments that we don't make to the Constitution, it provide a platform for everybody for get a level playing field, for be able for participate, for be able for contest for any position, for be able for go around the country and campaign, and who voters them for vote for them. So really, you're not supposed for bring division, you're not supposed for bring problem at the party. But unfortunately and honestly, we don't see a very ugly development they happen, whereas already we see factions, then they throw some abusive and words them against different groups. We don't create tension among certain members them. But me always to say, we're far from flag bearer race currently, because we get series of stages for go before we reach that side. We get for first of all adopt the Constitution. From there, we get for first go begin world elections, constituency. We come to region. We come to national before we member for flag bearer. But for the fact saying that elections get for be, me only the appeal to all who that get intention for be flag bearer, for calm down, put up a decent fight at the end of the day, so that who that go win, we all go able rally behind that person day and put up a formidable fight against the SLPP. But if at this stage we begin for cause we self, waiting they happen, now bad blood they build. And when bad blood build, even if at the end of the day the delegates elect one person, it will be difficult for them to come together and follow that person there and win election. I always they say, all them people and they, we don't come out or we would say one for be flag bearer. Anyone part them better go be a better president than the current president where we get. Anyone parent people and they where APC produce, it will be a better president than the current president where we get. So we don't need for fight as a party. All we need for do, ensure that we practice a decent democracy, elect an electable person where we will be able to win easily in 2023. We need everybody on board. We don't need division at the party. That I make I encourage even the one the way they contest for be flag bearer, let some unity exist among them. Some people will go say if they elect this person, me not go campaign, me go just sit down, then kind thing and they not fine. Anybody they elect, we all for rally behind that person. And I'm glad the leadership determined for provide a level playing field for all the flag bearer aspirants and for everybody self where they contest for any position. Mr. Sewe Sido have me position two other people at one time. Even though me not declare it, but two other people don't already declare for National Publicity Secretary. But we all they work. You know, other people and they don't declare for other positions, but they all they work unity day. So among themselves, where they aspire for lead this nation, unity for they among them. Because tomorrow, if anyone for be president, you for able for unite the country. But if at this stage we are not able to get unity among una and unity in the party, then when they make it very difficult for we, where they look up to una for serve we as president of this country, how we go unite the nation? So me all appeal to them and their supporters, they will all calm down. At the same APC we all do. At the end of the day, we all get without them want. But when you go vote for that person peacefully. You don't need for curse the other man. You don't need for say bad thing about the other man. You don't need for, begin to lie at the other man. Let we all just know, say, the APC is bigger than all of us. My brother, sometimes when some of you, they talk, people, they vex. But ego and selfishness, now they make people bad politicians. When we tend to become so selfish, and when we tend to get so much ego, it can even affect our ability for lead. So that may make you always appeal to people. Always put APC as the bigger picture, Sierra Leone as the biggest picture, than USSF as the individual. And the ego, not fine. Humility, they always make you a better leader than you where they put ego on your head.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Tunis. And again, very, very good advice to potential flag bearer aspirants them for the 2023 presidential election. Unity. Because it's very important. Not begin fed to ourselves, because tomorrow, we need to come back together for support that person if they fed. So again, forget some sort of limit. I believe, say, Mr. Sidia Tunis Nadongi a remarkable advice, and hopefully the party stalwarts and people who want a potential flag bearer aspirants and go listen to that. Mr. Tunis, one thing where people them where the potential flag bearers them and then supporters they complain is that then they worry whether if una the executive them go able all a fair and free process for elect the next flag bearer for the party. Is there anything we get for talk to that particular question, that doubts the way some supporters then get?
Yes, I mean, in the first place, we successfully hold executive positions. We positions then they up for elections. So when that time they reach, I don't know if Miwe Sidoya get for continue for be national publicity secretary. I don't even know if Miwe Sidoya go even be delegate, because clearly not so we get for the in charge of the elections. Now other people get for conduct the elections. So we now holders of the positions there now, we not get for get any business. Even if we be delegates, we only go get one vote like any other delegate. Sometimes the only thing we go do when that time they reach, sometimes some of you go campaign for the people that we want. That is all, where everybody get right for do. But other than that, I don't see any way where you go able to influence election for prevent other person for let you not win, or for do any kuku jumuku for let person not win. Because not so you get for conduct the election, not so you get for the in charge of the elections. So clearly, we not get nothing for ensure say will not provide the level playing field. All the steps they are so where will they take now for ensure say will bring confidence in the whole process. Yes, I see a lot of people they make issues say people that don't endorse. I not be one for talk on this issue, but maybe it's necessary for talk on them, especially in my own case.
Absolutely.
My brother, me a big politician, a very big politician. I have a whole region where they carry. If I want for endorse, now my region, I there they go endorse. Not to when I involve in a privileged conversation, somebody go record them without me knowledge, it leak them out, and you call that endorsement. Now my region, I go to map a hasty person in hand and endorse her. I'm a big politician. I am not a small politician. So I don't want let that make people that be carried away. I want people for trust the process where the leadership they put in place for ensure say we conduct fair elections for every position, from ward to constituency to district to region to national and to flag bearer. I want for assure that once we don't go, we all don't agree on them provisions that the Constitution. Every position get for be elected before that position they go be filled. And the process go be fair, and nobody in the executive no get for influence and for give somebody an undue advantage over the others. So all who are interested in positions, waiting for the do now, not to for the cause, not to for the make us the enemy, not for the campaign, so that when the time reach, you will get the required delegates the way you need for win the position where you at.
Okay, thank you very much again for that reassurance. I believe say potential flag bearers will be well reassured from that particular statement we don't make. And for now, we'll end this first segment of the interview. We want to look at what the APC party go do about this proposed non-political local council process where the government is trying to bring come say local council election, not for be political, not for be non-political. People are confused, saying, well, many democracies in the world where they see local council elections are political. So what's any party, APC party, do about this particular issue going forward?
But what we don't do, first of all, and for ensure say we not limit the issue for be an APC SLPP issue. Because what we don't see about the SLPP, every time an issue of such importance come up, they want for narrow and down to APC and SLPP for water them down. So what we did as a party, we mobilized the support of all other political parties. So for this particular issue, we all they work as one. When I say we all political parties in opposition, we position paper we will put out. We ensure say up to 13 out of the 17 political parties they sign. We don't only stop there, we don't write letter to His Excellency the President, and we don't go State House. We don't meet with the advisor on local council. We still they wait as promised by the advisor for meet with the president himself for let put the position clear to him. That they not happy need. But we also don't write to the international community. We don't meet with the parliamentary committee on local governance. We don't present with position to them back. And this now something where we political parties then determined, APC included, for ensure say we do everything possible for stop them, because we know that if we allow this to happen, it is the start of the killing of multi-party democracy in a salon under this administration. Because like we always say, when it comes to the implementation of multi-party democracy, it is implemented at the highest at the local council level. When you consider the number of councillors where they partake. So if you remove political party participation in democracy at that level, you don't kill multi-party democracy at local council level. And what you're doing also, you weaken parties, especially the smaller parties. We not get the kind of resources we then go need for fielding candidates for parliament. So that make we the team up farm for let the people understand that this particular policy not just power SLPP want for give themselves more advantage over other political parties, and then one for gradually eliminate multi-party democracy from that country. And if we allow this to go ahead, again for affect with democracy, and it will affect with people them. And they eliminate a whole lot of people. Local Council Act deliberate now for increased participation at local level in politics, in governance. Now that make the act being deliberate. It even talks say people can get meeting in their local dialect. But now they can't talk say anybody who want for big councillor You forget was anybody who want to be mayor or chairman, you forget a college degree. Where even the constitution of this country not put that kind of requirement there for policy we want for be member of parliament.
Yes.
But you don't can put that kind of requirement. So now the educational requirement for council, according to the policy where you want to bring, is even higher than the educational requirement for being a member of parliament. And also the constitution already make provision for independent candidates. You don't have to be a political party member for going to council or even parliament. Provision there for independent candidates. So why you want for make them compulsory? If you make them so, there has to be a process of criteria for elect or for select who that then go contest as councillors. Who that go get the power for put them criteria then they together. Now the government in power. Who that go lead the selection process? Now the government in power. So at the end of the day, who that then councillors then they go be answerable to? Now the government in power. All countries where been they do this, they don't run away from them. The Ghana, where the consultant, the reference. Ghana just complete the elections and follow that elections to the latter. Ghana been get a panel discussion, and one of the things that we then say now that therefore go back to political party, local council elections, because waiting they don't realize that because political party they not participate by local council elections, some councillors they even assume more power than the MP. Then they undermine the development projects the way the MPs then they take to the local communities because then feel say they get more power, they're not answerable to no party, they're not answerable to nobody, not to the central government, they're answerable to direct. Then they challenge the MPs, then they undermine the MPs. So the MPs not even get that power for get oversight over the councillors.
Okay, so thank you very much, Mr. Tunis, on that. I believe say Sierra Leoneans and say well, they worldwide they support APC party and other parties and then 13 parties and they come together for say no to that particular policy because the multi-party democracy now we country which every Sierra Leonean for cherish and we don't suffer a lot. Now we don't do the first segment of the interview which covered a whole lot about APC party and we're very pleased for say Mr. Sidia to give some excellent response. I believe say even most APC party supporters them or members them we confused, we get too mad or something. I believe say what you don't say today don't go a long way for alay them fears. And I hope say it couldn't have been more clear to be honest. And people appreciate them greatly. And again, ladies and gentlemen, we have more than double the number, triple the number of who can because waiting Mr. Sidia Tunis they talk so today now when are the acting National Publicity Secretary for the APC party is remarkable. So they feel say all APC party people supporter them, members them, well-wishers them, and even Sierra Leoneans them. It go nice for me and watch this program live. Many directly from waiting Mr. Sidia Tunis talk. Very, very relevant thing today now. So the next segment, Mr. Sidia Tunis, now this current administration. What is your assessment of this current administration? As they have been in governance now for nearly 3 years. So what is your assessment looking at all what they don't do within these 3 years, just in brief, your own assessment? What you see?
As far as I am concerned, this current administration don't take me back many, many decades. My brother, when you look at every sector, and I say this with all seriousness, with all sincerity, when you look at the energy sector, they don't take we backwards. Now, many areas then they will not get light. Now we are going back to the generator days. When you go to water, plenty areas they go days without water, weeks without water. When you go to infrastructure, the only infrastructural development projects the way they see they go on now the one the way the former president left under the former administration. When you talk about human rights. We now all know when we been come out, we left we country at grade A level as far as human rights, international human rights concerned. But we are down to grade B or grade C now under this current administration. We see a lot of dubious acts that they go on. When ourselves don't see the audit reports. In just 1 year, the amount of money where they embezzle, 177 billion misappropriated. That is more than all the audits put together for the 10 years of former President Ernest Bai Koroma. In 3 months, NACOVAC, March to June 2019, 92 billion misappropriated. Blatant corruption, even in the office of the president, 65 billion of the 177 billion misappropriated. Now inside the office of the president. We always see every Sunday the releases from the Africanist press. The amount of corruption we would see at the highest level of governance, office of the president, office of the chief minister, office of the first lady. Now we see NACIT, other ministries, Ministry of Information. I mean, how can an individual get over 300 million for provision for an office? Now provision shop in the run. How can you spend over 3-point-something million on fuel inside 1 year? A private jet you run, 1 grain office. I mean, that kind of blatant corruption. It is not, in the past, I always they say, when they see audit reports, they come out. Then they talk about systems failure. But no, this is not about systems failure. This is a blatant thief. Blatant. You go hire somebody as consultant. They pay over 30 million a month. We not get degree. We not even get experience. Wetin make a consultant? I be consultant. And the disheartening part, not only you make a consultant where you not qualify, you not get the requisite experience, you not even do the work. So they pay a free money. And then we cannot afford gloves for our healthcare workers. About the same time, they pay this person 30 million every month for work we not they do.
And again, Mr. Tunis, I just want to interject quickly because you don't overlap to the next question. And first of all, I want to say the situation as you described is really, really sad and it's unfortunate and people they suffer in the country and they're really, really bad. But again, I want to say that 2018, 2019 audit report and also the Africanist press don't reveal alleged massive corruption in this current administration. But the question here is what in the APC party in a position and what they go do for deal with this particular issue? Because they are the people who are responsible for all and everybody else for all the government accountable. And if they can't tear the app and people they suffer, what the APC party will do about it going forward?
My brother, we did have the government in neck. When the audit come on, we wrote a letter, not even press release as we don't. We wrote to the State House for explain. We don't write to we MPs for demand. When you see the MPs then say, then for debate that issue day. Because we ask them, we don't write to the international community. Some of us, we do on Twitter all the time to places like Freedom House, the MCCs, where they give them people high marks for fake reports then where people then where they bribe, they write for them overseas. So we are taking them on. But unfortunately, when you get a government where inept, we not care, then feel say they just go do things at will. But as a party, we they take them on, then they play all their underhand games for distract we with so-called commissions of inquiry, and now what we are seeing going through, the judiciary for they bring fake lawsuits them for distract we as a party. And this our focus is 2023. Some of them mess there with their in disunity, then go continue for take advantage, and they go continuation now mess. I mean, look at the failures. Less than 5% of the Pekin away seats now then pass. I mean, it is just, but once we get with structures in place, it goes beyond that, my brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll not continue for share because, and again, merely present these programs to medium government in terms of the economic situation of the country, because people they say the country then and now today, this bread and butter issue in the country.
And who side and get for carry this country? Because when they come in, they meet an economy where they recover. And then they begin for talk, say, the Mamama Airport, the extension of the ports, they're not been getting. We are on the verge of becoming a hub for West Africa, and the extension of the port for include up to 8 more batches. Any company where they operate will not even get any major company where they operate in Salone. Which is why when you come, Boku, then storage, we don't operate in this country for many years. Now na Guinea, then they pan Guinea come, we know they get coke. People are being kicked out of their jobs. Loans because they go cancel SL mining. So then people then their livelihood no longer able for support them businesses. And waiting, and more of we school picking are forced now to go on the streets because the SLG self and the spectrum for pay debt. So these are the kind of things where they go through as a nation. We make some of us with the see who side and the take we. We they see how far. Like you say, I don't serve in the previous administration. I know previous administration do, and now it all left we in a mess.
Syria, Tunis, now the platform, and they give you some really excellent. They able make ends meet under this particular dispensation. So things are really tough, and we're really grateful for get time where they come. Peace and security is paramount to the people in Sierra Leone. And during the previous administration of former President Dr. Ernest Bai Koroma, Salone was ranked as one of the most peaceful countries in Africa. But nowadays,
because we get a government where they legitimize people, these are recognized units within a party structure. And repeatedly, like you stated, then people there from 2018, where them burn them shops, kill people, butcher them. But no arrest district. Broad daylight. And they reach a level where Sierra Leoneans not sure. We don't see armed robbery don't increase in the city and other parts of the country. We also they see the number of rape don't increase with whatever foundation. The rape cases are increasing, especially of young people, and the same with ritual murder administration. And now then they tell we say we need assurance, because as it is now, even where because the government they tolerate thuggery and they tolerate intra-party fight. Even today, as we speak, my brother, Yeri Boweti Apina Kenema, among them, the chairman and the secretary, the Fed beat themselves, they hospitalized themselves. We had 28 flag bearer aspirants in 2018, the APC. $28. 20 bearer aspirants. You know, even hear about argument among them, let alone the full statements they call APC terrorist organization.
go kill, have been so wrong that they make some of we this give them kind platform for let people out there. They read and tear. Some of us we say these things not because we are APC, not only because we support APC, but being in governance, knowing where we were and how we country don't go, and because we not deserve this. We have people where either the disheartening thing is in all of this, our president has been quiet. He not even give the citizens the respect for even address them on their issues they are so. So where can he go? Who that you go talk to? When the one who elect the area of
the country and we beg for God intervention, and we really appreciate the fact that people like you standing up and saying these things for everybody, for Yeri, and you talk out of you as a Sierra Leonean, not even in terms of political party, because the peace and security is paramount. And it's even at the opening chapter, I say the peace and security and the welfare of the people of Sierra Leone, now the paramount responsibility and purpose of any government. So for let people feel insecure just because they're not a support your party or they're not part and parcel of your party, that is really unfortunate. And that ugly event what we see na Belgium base was another reminder of waiting the threat in the peace and security in that country, which is very unfortunate. And again, one turn by the flagship policy of this particular administration, when the fight against corruption. And with all the revelation now from the Africanist press, we see the Anti-Corruption Commissioner say, well, instead of investigate the first lady in office, he has to go back all the way to the former first lady for go investigate, and before he go able to establish the facts or whatever the allegation is at this current first lady in office. I mean, some people think is the Anti-Corruption Commissioner, they try for throw this at the long grass, or is this a proper strategy or a clear strategy for fight corruption? How people them will get confidence by the fight against corruption? What do you say, sir?
I think that for we, it is very clear. The SLPP's definition of fighting corruption now for go after the opposition, weaken them, dirty them, lie at them, and make them not able to do anything. Because, I mean, the amount of corrupt things that we don't come on and do, they don't do for keep Francis Benkefala busy for the next 5 years. Just dealing with the current things that way they come out. My brother, we don't get first ladies from the 60s. But that name, Office of the First Lady, start from 1996, when late Mrs. Patricia Kaba started. Audit reports don't come on in Sierra Leone for many, many years. For 10 years under former President Nkrumah. Now only in 2018, we know say under this administration, they don't open bank account for Office of the First Lady na Central Bank. It never happened. You don't go see and no other audit reports ever. It is only in the 2018 audit report we start for Yeribo money being transferred to the Office of the First Lady from the Consolidated Revenue Funds. They clear. The corrupt practice is clear. This misappropriation clear. Even in your utterance is clear. But then you want for water down the seriousness and distract and take the people of this country as fools for tell you say they go back from 20s, 2007, go back from 40 years. But let us know what you want to go back on. What you want for investigate Sia Nkrumah for. Which documents don't come out, we name them. Because we all don't read audit reports. You don't set up commission of inquiry. You don't call in name day. You don't do all kind of things. You don't invite Iman twice. You don't want to call in name. Oh, now because they don't can call the current first lady on corruption. So what? You want can't get a bad name because you don't want to investigate this one. My brother, we don't live in this country for many years. MPs, now their own party, they accuse themselves of corruption. We don't they see that. And today they don't come back say, oh, that particular thing not reach the threshold for make them investigate. Oh, now which threshold corruption get for reach for let you investigate? I thought your job now for investigate all corruption. We not be ever know say corruption get for reach certain threshold before you investigate. If you not reach, you go just advise. We did not know that. Now only today don't tell me that one day. So it don't take we back all the progress we don't make in the fight against corruption. Now that makes some of you always they insist, say even the good scores where we score for corruption at MCC, now the gains we'll make from 2015 to 2018. We know that because the MCC score now every 3 years assessment. So that score they will come out in 2018, 2015, 2016, 2017. The gains will make 9 come out. Because under this administration, we not see any fight against corruption. We not to APC then target. I mean, we see the rest. We come for the school picking and school feeding. My brother, clearly, they shape the rest among themselves. They know, then ACC, they recover some of the rest from the one that will not be done use their own age. And then in the end, they go free the man and say they not get case against them. Hey, bo, now so you they fight corruption. So anyone will not involve APC, not to corruption. It will only be corruption will involve APC person. I know, bo. I mean, this is really a really sad that even the institutions who they establish for guarantee accountability, now they don't politicize her. I mean, look at how then they go after the, but now then they try for dirty the lady simply because they don't want to be accountable, simply because they bring out the gross thievery where they happen under their own eyes, under their own watch. And then we expect, say, will they make noise, say, will they make progress? No, we are not. In fact, I always they say this. Whenever you become selective in this kind of manner, what you do, you they embolden people. Because of the selective nature in which we they fight corruption now under this administration, people they don't become more emboldened for thief. And that make you go see somebody go take 300 million, say now for buy provision for an office. Milk and sugar, 300 million, $30,000 for 1 year. Now that make you go see somebody go take 400 million, say they go buy laptop, you know buy. Because you know say they go kobara, na party pikin. Now that make you go see, then go take somebody, then go lock in a jail 6 months for nothing. Because we are being selective in how we dispense justice. We're not going to make progress as a nation.
And thank you very much, Mr. Tunis, because I mean, some of the way they're giving an eye opener. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, I feel that we're privileged to get Mr. Sidiya Tunis on the platform today and the acting National Publicity Secretary for the APC party. And again, in terms of the economy that we consider, maybe I want you give a picture because people that really talk dry, more like the ground dry. And I know say people don't know the severity of how difficult situation they for ordinary Sierra Leoneans like today. If you ever give it like a picture, a clear picture for the benefits of people at the diaspora, many know say yes. When people they say the ground dry, tintranga, they're not joking. It's something, it's very, very severe. Maybe when you did at the ground and you're a spokesman for the main opposition party, you probably will put them clearer for people who not go to the country maybe for a few months or few years back.
Okay, in the first place, let's even start with the one that we within at the public sector. The thousands of people where they don't sack from their jobs simply because they carry such certain not a name, or simply because they feel say these are APC sympathizers, even where they don't get nothing for do with APC. A poor messenger, waiting down they get for do with State House. I mean, you call over 70, 80 people in the room. They call them name by name and hand them the sack letter. You get all them bunch of people and they out of jobs. Think of all the mining companies we don't close. All the one will be the work they are now jobless. You think of all the supermarkets we don't close, we don't downsize. Then people and they all jobless. And a lot of these people are breadwinners. So they are all jobless. They don't get any source of income right now. And then at the same time, prices of basic commodities, they go up. So, they earn money, then prices of goods, they go up. Even where they earn money, because government know they make more, some people, they go 2-3 months now before they pay their salary. So we get a situation where some man don't even get all right now. So all of them combined, they make them difficult for let people afford. Rest is now over 350,000 in some cases for one bag rest. So if you're getting paid 500,000, 350,000 for a bag of rice, your salary don't dump. And the 70% tuition assistance with government be the key, they don't pull out. So now you are forced for pay full tuition for your pikin. So when you combine all of them things, then they make it very difficult for let people able to afford even their daily living. That is simple way than if we explain the ground line.
Wow, really, really sad. Really, really sad. Ladies and gentlemen, I want before we round up now, we're really grateful that Mr. Tunis get for stop some side, use the can light just for take this interview. Let tell we wait till they happen in the country. Mr. Tunis, we're really grateful that you don't take time off your busy schedule and you even have to stop somebody by the road for just enlighten or explain to what they happen in the country. While you summarize, don't not keep you too long. While you summarize, in terms of the APC party, what's now your message to all APC stakeholders out there, supporters, members, sympathizers, about how they will best organize themselves going forward? Because the people of Sierra Leone are looking up to the APC party as an alternative government in waiting. Because what they experience right now is not easy. People are suffering. So what is your message to those people when they look forward to, when they look up to and say, yes, we're not going to do something and make sure say deliver that country come 2023?
The first one are unity. We all need for unite. Let we put the interest of the party and the country above our own personal interest. That is my first message. So yes, we all can get with people who they support for various positions, but unity is key for let we succeed for Pool NYR 2023. And also, we all get part where we go play. We were there, where they face them, and even the one then at the diaspora. For the diaspora, a lot of them things here they happen. You get institutions, we're not democratic institutions, we're not accountable institutions for transparency and accountability, human rights institutions. Let we they engage them. Let we they find ways for forward some of them things they have to them. With senators, with congressmen, we MPs them for the one in our UK area. Let we all play them parts then day. I go tell you that when we were in governance, that then tear the opposition then be the doing. And not a crime. I mean, we all need for play with little parts for ensure say we make APC stronger and more formidable. But I want for assure we not this. As long as we unite, and the quicker we unite, believe you me, we go beat the SLPP 2023 and we go rescue Sierra Leone. For defeat SLPP, now every Sierra Leonean responsibility, because we need for rescue this country. I say this with all seriousness. We need for rescue Sierra Leone. Another 5 years of SLPP, God forbid, only God knows which side that country they go remain. I want for tell una plenty thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. CDI Tunis. Just this is the final question. Because although you're an opposition spokesman, you also want to see that country go and move on forward. So what are your advice to this current SLPP government where President Malabio they lead? What's your advice to them? What's them for do at least because they've got 2 more years to go so that they will able to alleviate the situation at the country?
Clearly, from all indication, all that you don't bring for help you govern, they not get clue what they need to do. Plenty of them focus on themselves and what they're able to make. You still get the former president, you still get a lot of people. And not too late for reach out. Nobody know they say give them jobs, but just direction, just for engage like how we see in other countries. It will help we a lot as a nation and for move forward, for see the kind of development we need for see for let the country move forward. We need a more inclusive governance system in our country. All this vindictiveness, tribalism, we need for stop, and the blatant corruption must end.
Okay, thank you very much once more again, Mr. CDI Tunis Fambul, and today we'll get the acting national publicity secretary of the APC party in this particular platform, Mr. CDI Tunis, and he don't enlighten me past so many things, and we're very grateful that he able to join me today, and he don't, clarify so many things that we'll be confused about, and we wish him all the best, and hope say he will able to come back on the platform sometimes in the too far distance future. So, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, I want to tell you all thank you. Like where I can say, they say all good things must come to an end. They say, net long tete, dogo most clean. And on behalf of this platform, and on behalf of all who wanted to guest today, thank you plenty. Mr. CDI Tunis, we join we, and we don't come and like to be Babokuti and where they go on within the APC party and the country in general. And again, I want to tell all the viewers them, we patient for watch this program. I believe say una say benefit from what una hear because the discussion has been fantastic. So we treasure on this platform. This platform na for una. This platform na for una. Una don't forget all the time. Una look, una go on our YouTube page and una subscribe.